This is the Black Porter, aka Kuku Shunimo, and from the newsreel we endeavor to always keep it real. This is the segment you've been waiting for, and today we have a number of issues as usual to deal with. Now the very first issue I'm looking at today is taken from Ghana Web, and it says Ghana's fight over anti-gay law threatens $20 billion American debt deal, and this is coming from Bloomberg. Ghana's fight over anti-gay law threatens $20 billion American deal. And this is Bloomberg. I speak. Ghana's Supreme Court will on Wednesday, that's today, May 8, 2024, start hearing a case that has the potential to both threaten the West African country's $20 billion debt restructuring and test the World Bank's commitment to support LGBTQ rights. Now, the court is being asked to strike down legislation that will jail those who identify as LGBTQ and punish others, family members, co-workers, teachers, etc., etc., if they fail to inform on them to the authorities. Now, if the court rejects the appeal, the World Bank will face a dilemma. Should it continue to support the anti-poverty fight in Ghana or defend liberal values? Bloomberg News on Diro Oganga discusses the potential social and economic implications of signing the bill into law with Jumana Bersechi on Horizons Middle East and Africa. Oh my God. So my brother, he who feeds you continues to control you. And this is from Bloomberg. And those of us who know the might of Bloomberg, Bloomberg has been deceptive in the past, and some of the time it also tries to be right. My brother, my sister, Bloomberg told us that Ghana's economy was going to blow. Within the next few moments, it rather slumped. Bloomberg told us and projected that Ghana was going to have a bumper cocoa harvest that it had never seen, in other words, unprecedented. We are now battling with black shoot disease and much more, collapsing our cocoa industry to the lowest ebb. Bloomberg has also projected things that came to pass. Today, Bloomberg is speaking again. Should we look at it in the light or in the darkness? My brother, my sister, let's go straight to the point. Now, today, the Supreme Court of Ghana heard the LGBT issue and decided to postpone it in what is known as adjournment. Supreme Court directs Richard Sky to file injunction request again. That's the anti-LGBTQI plus issue. It happened today. My brother, my sister, that's the update. It's been adjourned. The man has been asked to go and work on his appeal again. Now, why I'm interested in this case is this. Bloomberg is making one thing very, very clear. And that thing is this. If Ghana decides to go ahead to push the so-called anti-LGBTQI plus law, which the Ghanaian people refer to as the proper human and sexual rights, blah, 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 boom, 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 then it will lose $20 billion American coming from the World Bank that has vowed to stand by LGBTQI plus rights. Now, my brother, my sister, it is so interesting how it's written in this piece that the World Bank is supporting Ghana on its poverty trajectory. In other words, Ghana is so poor that it needs the World Bank to be able to stay afloat, or else it sinks and drowns. I am hurt by this. Should I repeat it so you get the reality of this issue? Now, this issue is very simple. And I need every Tom, Dick, and Harry to open the ears and listen. Every man, Kweku, and Ama, open your ears and listen. Listen, according to this write-up coming from Bloomberg, Ghana is so poor that it needs the World Bank to be able to fight poverty. And the World Bank is supporting Ghana with a certain 20 billion American dollar deal, which is supposed to be some debt restructuring, whatever it is, to be able to keep Ghana afloat. I am hurt by the nonchalance of our leaders. I am hurt. I am bitter about the way our leaders are handling this country. I don't believe in the firing squad. I don't believe in the shedding of blood. That is why I am vegan, not even animal blood. But sometimes I sit back and I think that I want to rewind and bring back the days of Rawlings, where some dirty leaders will be shot in the head and buried in shallow, unmarked graves. How can a nation pride itself in its gold? We have a king who is called Otikokoso. In other words, he's sitting on gold. Yet we are still referred to as poor. We have gold, we have diamond, we have oil, and unprecedented umpteen amount of cocoa in this country. Yet we are poor. This is so paradoxical of a nation. I sit back and I look at these things and I cringe. My brother, my stomach muscles started to contract as if I was in labor. My God. How can I explain this to my children? And if I am fortunate enough to live to see my grandchildren, what am I going to tell them? That yes, we have gold, we have diamond, we have bauxite, we have oil, we have unprecedented sweet cocoa sitting on our soil, yet we were always poor. My grandchildren will say, Grandpa, you and your generation were stupid. You and your generation were silly. You and your generation were dumb. And I will not begrudge him. This is so paradoxical. It's a big paradox to sit on gold yet be called poor. What is 20 billion American dollars to a man who sits on gold? What is 20 billion American dollars to a country that is abound with oil? What is 20 billion American dollars to a nation that just discovered an equivalent of titanium? I am shocked. He who feeds you will continue to control you. Your independence is a waste product. Your independence is useless. Your independence is a farce. Your independence is nothing but a mirage. How can you say you are independent, yet a mere 20 billion American dollars is that carrot that is dangling in front of you that lures you into the deepest abyss? I am shocked to the marrow. I am ashamed of all these leaders, past and present, my brother, my sister, all the way down, those who sold us to the powers of the West, those who, for the want of 20 billion American dollars, they can't stand by their sovereignty. I am shocked that Ghana is only worth 20 billion American dollars. Today, we have an official from the World Bank, shipped all the way from Switzerland, sitting in our finance offices, relegating the powers of the finance minister to the background and dealing with our economy. These people are no good people. They don't mean well for us. Do you think they do? Do you think that the World Bank wants to see the Ghana economy boom? Do you think that the IMF is a friend of Ghana? You might be an idiot if you thought so. Think about it, my brother. As a Pan-Africanist, I am so ashamed. As a Pan-Africanist, I cringe. As a Pan-Africanist, I see reality slap my cringing brows, and I watch it, and I go down on my knees and I cry to our ancestors, forgive us, for we have been stupid. Oh, Iradina Kopan. Iradina Kopan. It brings tears into my eyes. How can I explain this to my children? How can I explain this to my grandchildren? That everything that was called wealth, we had that in this small country. Yet, we were always considered poor. The only time Ghana was considered rich was when the white man came onto our coast and saw so much gold that he decided to call that area El Min in Portuguese, translated into English, the mine. What do you mine? Minerals. When the British came, they decided to translate it into their own language, and they called us the Gold Coast. Nowhere in the world except El Dorado, which is only figuratively imaginary, that is called the land of gold. Not even Timbuktu. Today, the so-called Gold Coast is Poverty Coast. What a shame. Now the next thing I want to look at, and I want to be quick with this. He says, don't vote for Mahama. He will destroy all I have done. And this is President Akufo-Addo speaking. And I'm reading this from Graphic Online, the national communicator. I read, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has urged Ghanaians to vote for Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to become Ghana's next president in the upcoming December polls. He explained that choosing the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC, former President John Dramani Mahama, would be detrimental to the country's development. That, he said, was because the former president would undo the progress the country had made under his new patriotic party-led administration. This is our election here, and the limited registration has started. Anybody who hasn't registered and is eligible should go and register. This is because your right to vote is your power, he said to a crowd of supporters in Doboro, in the Greater Accra region, following a visit to the premises of Blue Skies Limited. Also, when the time is up for the voting, our job is simple. The person I defeated, my work since I took over, seems not to please him. I take it again. The person I defeated, my work since I took over, seems not to please him. I cannot hand over power to such a person. He will destroy whatever we have done when he comes. Yes. I think this president is suffering an illusionment. I don't want to use that word. This president is probably Don Quixote. How many of you know Don Quixote? Producer, find me a drawing of Don Quixote. Don is spelled D-O-N. Quixote is Q-U-I-X as in xylophone, O-T-E. Don Quixote. Don Quixote was an imaginary figure who saw things people did not see. He would see water where there was no water. Don Quixote would see buildings where no buildings were found. I said I want a photo of Don Quixote. Don is spelled D-O-N. Quixote is Q-U-I-X as in xylophone, O-T-E. Don Quixote. My brother, I said Don Quixote was an imaginary figure who did not live in the real world. Realism was nothing to him. I knew Don Quixote from when I was 11, from my lessons in school. London Bridge is burning down, burning down, burning down. London Bridge is burning down, my fair lady. Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, kind master, 3 bags full. One for the master, one for the dame, but none for the little boy who cries down the lane. Ole, ole, down the lane. Olive, olive, down the lane. We taught this to our children. This is Don Quixote. This is the photo of Don Quixote. To those of you who have never heard about Don Quixote, this is Don Quixote. He was a man who saw things that never existed. Oh, I see rain falling and the sun was hitting so hard. Oh, there are people coming to attack us. They are all sitting on horses and they are coming with spears to attack us. And it's only sheep, 5 sheep approaching. That is Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo is that man you see here, Don Quixote. He sees imaginary things. He sees imaginary things. He claims he has done a lot. He claims that when Mahama is mistakenly voted for, he will destroy everything that he built. I think it's the opposite. Mahama did things that Nana Akufo-Addo came and trampled to the ground. Sagleme is still rotting up and is still clear in the memories of people who care to know. My brother, what has Nana Akufo-Addo done that you would say is enviable, except to bring his stooges into power to protect the shame and the corruption that they slapped us with? I'm so ashamed that I have a president like this. I have a Don Quixote as a president. Nana Akufo-Addo is the modern day Don Quixote. I am shocked. Mention to me what Nana Akufo-Addo has done that is worth praising. They will tell you, oh, free SHS, my fault. My son is still sitting at home. He went to school for 2 days and came back to sit for 7 trillion years. Before he goes back, he's grown gray hair. What kind of education is this? What kind of useless education is this? Huh? People are stashing money under their beds. And Iyoko cannot do anything. The special prosecutor is running away from murderers and assassins in his own words. Now he needs a bulletproof American car. He wears a bulletproof shoe. He wears a bulletproof jacket. And he sleeps on a bulletproof bed. His whole house is bulletproof. All because of the assassins coming from the loins of the Nana Akufo-Addo government. Is this enviable? Huh? Is this enviable? Tell me. This is the Don Quixote of Ghanaian politics. I am ashamed to have a Don Quixote as a president. Now the last thing I want to look at and I will be done is this one from Graphic Online. It says, Iyoko has long returned Cecilia Dapa's docket to us. And that is the OSP reacting. I read, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, OSP, has debunked claims that the Economic and Organized Crime Office is yet to return the document on former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa to them. According to the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the OSP, Samuel Apiada Iyoko has returned the docket long ago. He said the OSP was therefore surprised to hear the Executive Director of Iyoko, Commissioner of Police, COP Mamiya Tiwa Adodangwa, claiming that her office is yet to send the docket to the OSP. Now the Iyoko boss said this while addressing the media at the 14th Commonwealth Regional Conference of Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies in Africa, which was held on Monday, May 6, 2024. She said her outfit intends to return the document due to the lack of additional information required by Yoko to conduct investigations for potential prosecution of the crime of money laundering. This special prosecutor is better than Alamisi Amidu, but he's also not up to the task. He's a coward. He is a coward. Alamisi Amidu is the grandfather of all cowards. He came in. We gave him all our all. We gave him all our support. We believed that he had the muscles to strangle any iota of corruption lingering around our heads like neon atoms on heat. He ran out like a pregnant frog in broad daylight, shouting that the mother serpent of corruption had given him a single bite, so venomous he was looking for the next coffin to hide himself in. Hallelujah. Today, my brother, my sister, we have Kisie Jabing, young and affable, full of energy and power. And we all smiled and heaved a sigh of relief. He sat on the seat and action started. All of a sudden, he started asking for armored cars from America, Rambo-styled cars that no bullet could penetrate. He wanted his house bulletproofed. In fact, his jacket bulletproofed. Even the food he was eating should be bulletproof. He couldn't trust this president anymore. The first special prosecutor referred to the president as the mother serpent of corruption. That kind of serpent is worse than the serpent in the days of Adam and Eve. In fact, the serpent in the days of Adam and Eve ate apples. But this mother serpent of corruption swallows humans. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister, he ran out. Kisie Jabin came. He started flexing his muscles. We all started applauding him. Then all of a sudden, he cowered. My brother, my sister, he went under. In fact, the storm, my God have mercy. From when he started demanding armored cars and vehicles, I knew that the man had been whipped into the corruption line. Today, the Cecilia Dapa issue that we were told by the office of the special prosecutor that it took millions of hours to count money that was stashed in different holes in the house has amounted to nothing, as pronounced and prophesied unto us by the mother serpent of corruption, Nana Akufo-Addo. Today, assistants, Cecilia Dapa is laughing at you while she continues to receive momo from ghosts from their graves. Hallelujah. It's only in Ghana that ghosts can steal momo. If you need money, go to the cemetery and plead to the ghosts. They will send you momo. What a disastrous country. Our people have let us down. Today, we are being told that the docket was returned long ago for additional information. These people are getting out of power. Ghanaians are fed up with them. They are kicking them out. Right after they get out of power, Cecilia Dapa will disappear. Just like that woman in the Volta region disappeared. The police are still looking for her. They said they will bring her here. Wayome is still walking around. The rest of them are still here. No wonder jokers like Cheddar can come and say they want to be president. Jokers. Because the mother serpent of corruption has paved the way for every comedian to think that they could rule. I leave it here.
This is 3FM.